Good morning. I'd like to call to order to this special emergency meeting of the School Board of Sarasota County on Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. Please stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a special meeting, and in that regard, we will have no public statement or public comments, and it is to approve the Sarasota County Emergency Resolution, which we have included, and I will read the description. The school board finds that the after effects of Hurricane Ian comprise an emergency within the meaning of Florida Statute 255.0525. The resulting storm damage is an immediate danger to the public health and safety, presenting a significant loss of public property and an interruption of the delivery of essential education programs and services. The Sarasota County School Board Emergency Resolution grants the superintendent authority to act on its behalf. At this point, I will give the floor to our attorney, Mike McKinley.
That would be me. Yes. Very well. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have just a couple of additions to the resolution that was distributed. We're going to add the number of the governor's executive order, which I did not have when I drafted this day before yesterday. And we're also going to have some language added at the end of paragraph 4 that says, unless extended, this resolution will expire 45 days from date. And then a new paragraph that will say all expenditures in excess of $100,000 shall be reported to the board. So if the superintendent continues to recommend that, it's ready for consideration by the board.
Yes, I do recommend that. I wanted to bring up just a couple other bullets for all of those watching. Number one, both the law and our policies permit emergency meetings. Number two, Governor DeSantis has declared a state of emergency here in Florida. Number three, we have 45,000 students not in school and a variety of other urgent issues related to the storm that we will need to pay for as they come up. Number four, as we always strive for transparency so we can get the schools open as fast as possible, we'll need the ability to act quickly, which we have had so far, and we want to continue to have with this resolution. Number six, we plan to publish the meeting in its entirety as soon as this meeting is over for the public. And the next one, I believe that this is the proper balance of transparency and acting in an emergency. It's the best we can do during the circumstances that we have to make the repairs and do what we need to do to move forward. So far, the dollars that we have been using are dollars that have been approved, that we approve every year when we have any kind of storm damage and things of that nature. This resolution will help us if and when we go beyond what has already been approved through our regular capital budget.
Dr. Asplund, would you also like to mention that you will be having a news conference later this morning?
Yes, there will be a press conference later this morning at 11 o'clock.
Where details of what is happening in schools and so forth will be discussed.
The details of what has occurred and the plan moving forward. We will discuss that during the press conference. This meeting is merely to approve the resolution to be able to spend dollars as necessary. Also, I wanted to have everyone understand as well that the dollars that we spend will also be refunded by FEMA.
Without any further comments, may I have a motion, please?
I move that the Sarasota County School Board Emergency Resolution be approved as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? We're going to take a voice vote so that we will make it simpler for our administrative assistant today who's filling in for Kathy Tompkins. Bridget Ziegler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to, and I know we want to wrap up briefly here, but I know, first I wanted to thank staff for all of the hard work that they've done, having visited the shelters. It's just remarkable to see the amount of effort and time put in here. I know this is a very trying time, and I think it needs to be highlighted that many of the people in our staff who are working around the clock also have been displaced themselves, but still are committed themselves to serving our community. And I know that there is a lot of eagerness in our community to get our schools back open, and the emergency resolution does allow that flexibility. And thank you to the board for the 2 amendments, adding the 45-day expiration date, as well as any contracts that are signed over $100,000, that the board will just be notified of those for the transparency. But I know that this is all about getting our schools back open, and I eagerly await for that update. But thank you very much.
Mrs. Brown.
I, too, want to thank our staff for being out there and working so hard. I do understand that most of the evacuees in North County, at least, are home. And I also want to thank Bridget and her husband for working at the shelters to help things down. I know when I was there, one thing I noticed at one of the shelters is when donations come in, it takes a long time to sort. So if people could sort their donations, at least men's clothes, women's clothes, kids' clothes, it would help. And I also understand that FEMA is moving in the trailers now that can help house even the workers that are down here helping, and perhaps some of our employees. And Sarasota scgov.net has connections to how to file for FEMA. And I also expectantly look forward to the press conference so the parents and the teachers can know when we can get back to work.
Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I, too, want to echo all of the expressions given to the staff. It was extraordinary, the time and effort and the respect and dignity and kindness that you showed to our community. I also want to thank the community for the outpouring of donations. It's been extraordinary, the efforts that the community members have done, providing meals, cooking, bedding, everything that you can possibly imagine, that people arrive at our shelters with nothing, and they've been accommodated and shown care and respect. So I just wanted to thank everyone for those efforts.
Madam Chair, I'd like to also offer that we're finding out generators. If the state is making schools be hurricane shelters, the state ought to provide generators, and I think we need to be looking at that. As for, coming down with after the fact, let's let the state know that generators should come along with it. It's not normally included when we build schools, but I think that should be part of our legislative program, that they fund generators at our hurricane shelters.
Mrs. Rose.
Yes, I too would like to pass on a big thank you to our staff on behalf of the Sarasota County community. And this is a great community that has come together. And also reiterate at the 11 o'clock press release with Dr. Asplund, I know that our families and our parents are very much wanting to know what the plan is and when they can expect to have their students in school, so that we're all awaiting that 11 o'clock press conference. But thank you very much, Sarasota County community, and in particular our staff, for maintaining smiling faces while continuing to serve this community. Thank you.
Well, I too would like to thank our staff who have always worked around the clock to help others, and I know that many of them are suffering now with damages to their homes, and my heart goes out to all of our employees and staff for what has been a very challenging week. I live in South County. I live in South Venice, just north of Englewood. I still have no power or water. It's been a long week. I have trees down in my yard that we can't seem to get anyone out to take care of yet, but all in all, I was a lucky one. But Inglewood and Northport and the south of Venice, really, it's a very different story down there from what it is up here, thank God. We have limited radio coverage because most of it's coming out of Fort Myers and Charlotte. We don't have many radio stations that have been reporting anything or are up in Sarasota County. That's just kind of the way it is. But that's been a real life source for me, my little FM portable radio. But at any rate, I want to just say that there are plenty of people still stranded, still flooded in Northport. There are plenty of people trying to reach out to them, and my heart goes out to all of our community, particularly the South Sarasota community. So if there are no other comments, we're going to take a voice vote now. So I'll start with Mrs. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
Mrs. Rose,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So this motion carries unanimously. Hearing no other reasons for this meeting, we're adjourned.